In this lesson, we're going to create a family that behaves as if you were drawing a line. It's aptly called a line-based family. Basically, when you draw a line, you pick the first point, then you pick the second point. The result is a line. Pretty simple. How about if you do the same thing, but only you get a style and rail wainscot with an optional backer and a choice for maximum spacing? The objective of this exercise is to learn about what a line-based family is. We will create the necessary reference planes and we'll be adding a top rail and a bottom rail. To get started, open Revit. As you can see from my example, we have some wainscoting here. If I was to select this guy, grab this grip, and bring it down the length of the wall, we see that it draws it in. We can also come in here and specify a different spacing if we want. Say, for example, we only want 1 foot spacing. Hit apply, and it arrays it through there and gives you close to 1 foot. That's what a line-based family is. With Revit open, let's go to the Families category and click the New button. We want to scroll down and find Generic Model, Line-Based. Once you find Generic Model, Line-Based, go ahead and click Open. Now, a line-based family gives you some familiar reference planes, but they also give you an additional reference plane, and they give you a length parameter. They also give you what's called a reference line. This reference line allows us to draw a line once we load this family into our model, and whatever kinds of extrusions and shapes we have in here, they're going to be drawn along with this line. So you want to keep that line, it's kind of important. The first thing I want to do is create an overall height for our wainscot. So, on the Datum panel, click the Reference Planes button. On the Draw panel, click the Pick Lines button. Let's give it a 3-foot offset. Let's offset it up. Hit Escape a couple times. On the Measure panel, click Aligned Dimension. Then pick a point over here and hit Escape a couple times. Select the 3-foot dimension. Let's add a parameter to it. Let's call that height. Let's make it an instance parameter. Let's click OK. Now what we want to do is go to a view looking this way at it. If I select this reference plane, that's our left reference plane. If I hover over this reference plane, that's our right reference plane. So in elevations, I'd like to go to left. Okay, let's make 3 more reference planes. The first reference plane, I want to specify a thickness. So on the Create tab, I'm going to click Reference Plane. On the Draw panel, I'm going to click Pick Lines. I'm going to offset this 3/4 of an inch. Offset this up 3/4 of an inch. Hit Escape a couple times. Let's dimension it. Remember, we always dimension from our strong reference first to our weaker reference second. Select 3/4. Let's give it a parameter. Let's call it panel thickness. Let's make it an instance parameter. Let's click OK. Let's create 2 more reference planes. Go ahead and right-click this reference plane and create similar. On the Draw panel, click the Pick Lines button. Let's give it a 3-inch offset. Offset that down 3 inches. Let's offset one up 3 inches as well. Now hit Escape a couple times. On the Measure panel, click the Aligned Dimension button and dimension these in like so. I'm going to select both of these dimensions. I'm going to add a parameter. I'm going to call it rail width. I'm going to make it an instance parameter. I'm going to click OK. Now let's make some extrusions. Perfect layout for some 3D extrusions. So on the Create tab, let's click the Extrusion button. On the Draw panel, let's click our Pick Lines button. Let's make sure our lock is checked on. I'm going to pick all 4 reference planes. On my Modify panel, I'm going to trim extend to corner. I'm going to come down here and do the same. Unlike other items, we can have two separate extrusions and they'll behave as one. On the Draw panel, I click my Pick Lines button, and we're going to get an error here, but don't worry about it. It doesn't mean anything. They just don't like the fact that this line is overlapping the line way down here, but that's okay. We'll fix that by trimming it out. Excellent. On the Mode panel, click Finish Edit Mode. Let's go back down to our ref level floor plan. Now what we need to do is align it to this reference plane. I'm going to select this reference plane and stretch it out a little bit. On the Modify panel, I'm going to click my Align button. I select this reference plane. I'm just going to select the front edge, and I'm going to lock it. Very important that you lock it. Hit Escape a couple times. Go to a 3D view. We can spin it around and take a look at it. Let's flex the length parameter. So on Family Types, I'm going to click that. And for length, I'm going to give it 10 feet. Hit Apply. Hit OK. Excellent. We're going 10 feet. Next thing I want you to do is save this. So go ahead and click the Save button. And put it somewhere where you'll easily be able to find it. I'm going to call mine Style and Rail. On my options, I'm going to have one backup. I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to hit Save. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? It's really like drawing a line, only you get a top and bottom panel with the choice for width and thickness.